All right, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. So first off, before we get into this video, we have a little bit of a milestone to celebrate as a community. We hit over 100 million views on the channel. That's pretty amazing. You guys as a community are amazing. You kick ass, and now we have over 100 million views. So that goes to show you, in the 3 years and something odd months that we've been doing this, we've gotten to this point. So no matter where you joined along the road, whether you guys were there in the first 20 subs or in the last 20 subs recently, welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate the support. You guys make dreams come true. Now, I want to make another dream come true, and this is in War Thunder. We're going to be looking at this dev blog post for the ASU-57 air delivery. Yeah, that dream is glider-borne and, aerial dropped tanks. I think they would be fitting for the World War mode that's upcoming. There was a little mini patch that was dropped. And there was a few interesting things, including a new survival game mode they want to implement that's going to have 25 waves. They're also setting up for the World War mode, where clans will have to choose which country they want to fight for. So I'm not really sure how they're going to balance that. But what we're looking at right here is a rather silly, it looks like Pinocchio. Those two little slits are the eyes, and then that 57mm cannon, the ZIS-2 right there. Or not the ZIS-2 exactly, but, basically based off it, is like the nose. So this Russian has been lying, and he's got a big-ass nose. So the ASU-57 was the first series-produced SPG in the Soviet Union that was developed to specifically be delivered by air for airborne landing troops, similar to the Locust, which is kind of cool. We have a few glider-borne and airborne, armor in the game. We have floating tanks. Why not glider-delivered tanks, right? Anyway, the ASU-57, Avia Desantnia, Semakodonia. Oh my God. All right, let's try this. Avia Desantnia. You know what? Screw it. I can't do it. But I can do the last one. Ustanovka, or air landing self-propelled gun, will be a new addition to the Soviet light tank line and will be situated before the PT-76 on the tree. So it's an SPG, but it's going to be in the light tank line, interestingly enough. The ASU-57 is one of the most unusual vehicles that has been added to War Thunder. The Po-2 or the TB3, they're always Russian. Why are all the crazy things Russian? There's a few British crazy things, though. It is a small caliber, but still very dangerous SPG, whose main advantages are its small size, mobility, and rate of fire. Light bulletproof armor, a crew of 3, an unusual configuration, and built to be as light as possible. Every aspect of this vehicle was designed to ease its landing via parachute. Curiously, the ASU's powertrain was an M20E automobile engine used in the Pobeda, or Victory, civilian car, but it was armed with a semi-automatic CH-51M cannon, which has basically the same ballistic characteristics as the ZIS-2 57 that we already have in the game. So the thing's pretty cool looking. It looks derpy, but you know me, I love the derpy vehicles. So the vehicle came into service in 1951 until it was replaced by the more powerful ASU-85. So will we get that? Outwardly, the ASU-57 differs from Soviet SPGs from the end of the war in its small size and open cabin. It carries just 30 rounds of ammunition for its main 57mm cannon, but its reloading speed and ballistics are simply astounding. So it sounds like you're going to have more trouble running out of ammunition through the rather rapid rate of fire. That's a lot of R's right there, okay? Give me a break. It's Sunday. I've got 45 minutes of sleep. Woo! Okay, yeah, back to it. So, remember the incredible 57mm ZIS-2 cannon on the early Soviet ZIS-30 SPG? The ASU-57 plays like a post-war version of the ZIS-30. Advanced and time-tested with good mobility, maneuverability, a low profile, and an absence of the lingering destabilization when stopping that annoyed players so much. when stopping. Oh, yeah, that little tip forward. A particular problem of the aforementioned anti-tank SPG. Man, don't you wish I could say that in a Russian accent? I do too. Will be the strategy of the ASU-57B to quickly take a convenient position from which to fire 57mm rounds at the opponent and then instantly vanish and hide from enemy fire. So to take an enemy position and set up an ambush with its excellent rate of fire to support attacking allies, and most of all, to avoid going head-to-head against the enemy. The ASU-57's armor, to put mildly, is non-existent. So this thing's going to be able to get penned by 50 caliber machine gun rounds. It's almost like a lower-tiered, like the Hanomag Henschel Jagdpanzer. That thing, it basically has no armor for Tier 5. And you can pen it with borderline anything and everything. And, this thing is going to be very similar, but at a lower tier. And I believe they said that it was going to be right before the PT-76 on the light tank tree, not on the SPG tree, which is kind of interesting because it fits both. But I would say by design, by the fact that it doesn't have a turret, I think it would fit more appropriately in the SPG line. But hey, man, PT-76 is awesome, so now you got another thing to grind for before you get it. I mean, I love the PT-76. That thing is fun as tits to drive. Although we need okay, so now I get to do the part where I educated you on some stuff that you could read yourself, but you know what? You get to hear my voice and you get to see some pictures, and it's more fun that way, let's be honest. And now you get to hear some of my crazy thoughts, right? So first off, airborne vehicles is 100% yes. Imagine the Messerschmitt 323 Gigant. There's a couple different versions. There's a glider version, there's a rocket version, and there's an actual plane version that was, sustainably self-propelled, right? There was even a gunship version of that thing, which would be amazing in the game. That thing could carry light tanks and armored vehicles. We need, and we want armored vehicles, armored cars like the Puma in the game. There's actually a lot of really cool Russian armored cars that would fit in Tier 1, maybe into Tier 2, right? So armored cars, yeah. So gliders, I could carry them? Hell, why not? Granted, in a regular, competitive mode, I don't think that would fit, but in a World at War mode, absolutely. You'd have to spend a little more resources, but then you'd be able to get that. That would be sweet, right? And then also, I think we need more amphibious tanks. That would give the Japanese a nice flavor because they would have a number of low-tier amphibious tanks, which no other nation has right now. The only amphibious tank in the game right now, PT-76, that's Tier 4. So, Tier 1, Tier 2 amphibious tanks, hell yeah. Right? The Americans had some stuff too, man. Get some LVTs in there. Anyway. So that would be cool, right? I would like to see airborne and glider tanks. Imagine your buddies piloting a bomber or, a transport plane, or more likely a bomber. And because who wants to just fly? There are people out there that would, though, right? So he's pulling you along. You detach, you glide down. And if you landed successfully, you could spawn in the light armor that's inside. Or maybe spawn some AI-controlled infantry, because infantry would be amazing. So many of the factors, and attributes and just features of these armored vehicles were designed in such a way because they accounted for combating infantry. And that would just be icing on the banana tits. What did he call it? Banana split? A banana tit split right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was a little bit of an ASU-57, which is going to happen, and then a bunch of stuff that I would like to happen, which probably won't, but one can hope, right? So I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I just went to Louisville, Kentucky, and my little brother graduated from dental school, so I think that's pretty cool. It was my mother's birthday, and that same day I hit, or BaronVonGamez, the channel hit 100 million views. It was a day of celebration for us, so now you guys get to join me in that celebration. What do you guys think of the upcoming World War mode? I'm thinking like Call of Duty, but Battlefield 1, right? You know what I mean? Dude, I'm so hyped for that. And then there's that upcoming new survival game mode, 25 Waves. Protect the artillery. Pretty cool stuff. Looking forward to that. What do you guys think? Anyway, happy Sunday. Thanks for watching this video. Now get outside or get back on the computer and have some fun, because I'm going to try to do both today. Oh, yeah, and Game of Thrones.